Stay tuned in to Baba TV. It's real shit. The truth. For real.
Burdens you carry so hard. Walk a little while in my shoe. It might not be the perfect fit, but you'll soon appreciate it is full of turns and twists. I gave all of me to the cause, so when sometimes I feel lost, still I am upright through the pain. After the sun there'll be rain. This hurt that I'm feeling, oh, carries a much greater meaning. Years of sacrifice, living in a world of compromise. Oh, well.
Greetings, family. Welcome to another edition of Baba TV. Every time fire. Here with my sister from the Onondaga Nation, and we are here at the embassy.
The Onondaga Embassy.
Yes. Shout out to all of the Haudenosaunee family, sisters and brothers.
Yeah. Nyewahaskenu. Yeah. Washet Dogas. Welcome. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for the invite. We really need the media. We need people up here standing up, helping, because this benefits all of us, not just for the indigenous people, but we're here to help better everyone from all four directions, from the black, the red, the yellow, and white. Peoples, human beings, colored beings, we're all one. We're all related. Just let you know that. And just wanted to share a story with you, my life journey story. It's not a one that people expect to live their life, have to live their life being as an indigenous woman. I am the matriarch of Onondaga. So with that being said, this is the capital. Onondaga is the capital of the Haudenosaunee people, as they call us, the Haudenosaunee people. I'm of the Beaver clan. Like I said, I'm deeply rooted from my mother. So I like to share my first 4 years. I'm 52 years old. My first 4 years I spent on Camp Lejeune military base. My father was a military professional sniper. He trained other militaries to be snipers. And the first 4 years, my grandmother came down there, 4 years old, and moved me back to the reservation and finished raising me out there, out to the res. And I had a I lived in the woods. Didn't care for school too much. They had to put my desk in the principal's office time first grade, because I would leave school and just go in the woods, play with my own dog, but I got tired of sitting for 8 hours. So I really enjoyed nature. My ancestors, they raised me in a longhouse, and they taught me good things, to know our ways. And my time out there on the reservation, as we had adopted people in our tribe over the years, way before my time, um, I know that there was protocols, there's laws that were put in place, our Great Law of Peace, and our Ganat Logoa we're supposed to go by. We have and it's how we live in peace. It's how we go by these laws, and it helps us to live in peace with one another, and how to connect with nature. So, for that being said, I noticed growing up, I was put up when I was a little girl, probably about 1970. My 77. My grandfather told me 77 or 78. My grandfather told me while we were having our ceremony that it was forbidden. The government had forbidden it, but we still do it anyways and have our ceremony. Well, I was when I was a little girl. Well, since that time, I was being put up. All the elders, all our Ongwehoe elders, they are all there. They know this to this day, the ones that are still alive. And ever since then, I was put up. I started being attacked by my own people on a reservation. These people who we adopted in our tribe and people who are my family members. I don't know. And my great aunties, after my grandmother passed away, my great aunties took me in and they took care of me. And they finished raising me and teaching me my culture, our traditional ways, and our language as best as they could. And they kept me protected as best as they could. When I was a little girl, there was people that tried to attack us. Me and the first lady, which would be my great auntie, before me skipped 2 generations because of the genocide. They didn't want us to know. They didn't want me to know who I was. But this is my aunt Tressa Homer Thomas, and she was the matriarch of Onondaga. Um, she didn't have no biological daughter, or she did it. She passed, but they kept me rooted. And I remember a time we were being attacked. Somebody was lurking in a field. And I remember the chiefs had to come, warriors had to come and protect us. And I couldn't come out of the house for a couple of days with my great auntie, because there was somebody lurking out and they wanted to chase whoever it was. I don't know. I couldn't vaguely remember, like they said it was a white man. But from there on, they were passing away. My elders were passing away, and my grandfather was still with me. He was about 76 years old. We came off the res when I was a teenager. My family, with certain cousins who were jealous, who wasn't put up, who were um, because they weren't put up. They had a grudge against me, and they would make lies and have me jumped on a reservation. Of course, we don't have no police or anybody, so my mother felt the need to take me off the reservation for my safety and well-being. And my grandfather too. It was hard for her to work the wood stove, and my father was up there in age. He was his late mid 70s. So we came in the city, and we bounced from apartment to apartment. And not even a year, 2 years, a year or two, my grandfather passed away in the city. I know he wasn't happy. I know he was very sad about the whole situation too. Um, but they so I had daughters myself. I ended up becoming an emancipated minor at 16. I put myself in foster home at 15. I got pregnant, basically on purpose, to hurry up and grow up until I could be an adult, to be on my own. My mother's bouncing around from house to house out here. We're trying to adjust living into this communist world now. We don't know nothing about. And I'm sure it was set designed that way. And so put myself in foster home for a year, had my baby, had my first daughter in Skinny Atlas, New York. Nice foster home, nice family, the Poormans. And ever since then, I left there from that foster home, came into the city, and I have a godmother here who helped us when we came into the city. Her name is Moselle Brown. We love her dearly. They're our family. She helped us with my mother with my grandfather, because she had a father and she was taking care of him out here. So we lived in a city. We did the best we could to survive in a city. Um, and my mother, we kept trying to go back to the reservation, and there would be obstacles in our way to even survive out there without any help, because these people over the years, these people who we adopted in our tribe, and a couple other Onondagas, they had joined together to team up against the matriarch family. And so we were being silently attacked. And it's obvious now. It's 52 years later, here we are, and we see the attacks. We see what happened. We noticed that now the governments, they teamed up with the government, the corrupt governments, and they're making deals. Making all these closed door deals, putting pipelines through our lands. They're just doing all kinds of destructive things to our land, and they're out here portraying as there's some kind of traditional spiritual people. These people aren't. They, the only agendas on their mind is how they can get wealthy off the Onondagas, like they have been doing over the years. So I relocated, finished raising my daughters in 2006 in Buffalo, New York. Best thing I did for my life, for my daughter's life. Um, and So I said, "Geez, what's going on?" And I hear the women on Onondaga, I still talk to them, and "What's going on? Geez, they keep coming to me, telling me there's all these things going on." And I said, "Gee, I seen what happened in 1996, the beating on the highway, the takeover with the violence and the police. I was right there. I was in tears. I was like, what the hell is going on here?" They had teamed up, these hypocrites, these non-Onondagas and a couple Onondagas who are full of greed, and they're pedophiles or they're rapists, murderers of our own people. When they speak up out there, and the governments have been covering up from 1996, 97, 98. So I've noticed all of this, and the women kept talking to me and say, "Geez, yeah, do something. Do I don't know. I'm young myself, and I'm trying to know who I am, and I wanted to make sure I can raise my daughters in some kind of peace. But the governments would not let me live in peace. Like I said, I had to relocate. Well, I came back 2000. I was out there for about 5 years. I came back 2010. I lived in this apartment right over here where I live today. I lived over there, and had my aunt come live with me. And I stayed for a year, worked on a reservation of firekeepers. I always had a job there. And I saw what was going on. They stopped selling the Newports and the Marlboros because the government wanted to tax them, so they stopped selling them. So I left for another year. I said, I'm going to get myself together. I got to come back. When I came back, I started speaking up. And I met with our Onondaga women, and they says, we've been waiting for you. And they showed me documents that they had been working on, following a paper trail of these hypocrites. They call themselves chiefs and clan mothers out to the reservation that want to hold titles as they hold some kind of authority over the people. The documents of the paper trail of their extortion, embezzlement, fraud, um, yeah, murder of our own people when we speak up. So that I've been speaking up. And with that being said, they tried to banish me on my reservation. They tried to have me arrested for protesting with the other women, bringing the women out, but they couldn't have me arrested because this is my land. They're just occupying it and taking control of our resources. So they started having me attacked out there. They have paid puppets out there. They're on drugs, and they'll do anything for $1 for their next hit. So they send people to come on my land, attack me, then call the police and have me arrested. I just finished a case of 4 years. The judge wouldn't. He denied. He would not dismiss it for nothing, and he ended up dying. Well, last year the case was dismissed. I had to go to another judge. It was dismissed, and I did get to confront him last year. This judge last year, year before, I got to confront him um, in his courtrooms. He said he knew he had no jurisdiction or authority over me. Well, after the fact, then he wants to bring it to my attention, or to the court, everybody's attention. But I got to say my piece to him, and well, he died. He's dead now. He died March, just last year, and the same. I I had another stalker, the detective at Syracuse Police Officer, Gwen Dell. Well, I got to confront her. She tried to say hi to me when I moved back here 10 years ago. I seen her coming out of Rite Aid, and I'm standing outside. She comes up to me saying, "Hi," this and that. And I fed it to her. Well, don't you ever say hi to me again. Don't you ever. You try to destroy my life, my livelihood, me and my daughters. You try to make me and my daughters out of liars. I had to relocate from my own homeland because of her and the corruption that she follows in the path of her colonized mind. Almost broke my spirit. And for that being said, she died after she died couple months ago. And when she died, I don't want her not to be buried on my land. Her ashes, nothing. Um, and and I stand by that from the bottom of my heart to my ancestors, from my ancestors, because that was really something. If I didn't put my head together, if I wasn't had a strong mind as I had to all these years, I would have lost it. You know, my daughter was murdered out here by the police, 6.5 years ago, and I have the documents behind why she was murdered, and it has to do with police brutality in mid-state prison. I have the documents right here. In 2016, I've been speaking up since this. I've been speaking up on the behalf of my granddaughter's father, who was beaten in prison. He was awarded $1 million, and he took that $1 million. And the government, because they owed him a favor from beating him in mid-state prison 2016, they decided to team up against me and my daughter and try to take my granddaughter away from her. So she had court with the corrupt judge, the one I just told you about who died, Judge William Rose, his name is. Well, he tried to take they from prison. He filed custody to take my granddaughter away from my daughter, and my granddaughter was in no kind of harm or anything. Well, my daughter had court June 5th, 2018. Well, she was dead June 2nd. It's been going on for hundreds of years. It's been going on for a lot of years. All this police brutality. They just find different tactics and forms how to abuse us, how to break us, and break our spirit. I don't just speak for my indigenous people. I speak for all because that's our duty, responsibility is to preserve our Mother Earth for our next generations. And yeah, all this corruption is pretty intense, and it's become a norm. It's like it's a norm out here. I mean, treason. You got the your president. He gets mad. He sends his goons to destroy the Capitol. I mean, that's treason right there. Then we got Onondaga Nation. We got these hypocrites. They're not even Onondaga. They done took all our billions of monies and embezzled it and extorted it. And we're sitting here. I'm in the goddamn housing project. We're keeping the peace, like taking hits. I have to speak up. If I didn't speak up, I'd be really, yeah. So I have no other choice but to speak up. I've been stripped of everything. This is a wampum. It's a It was it was supposed to be given to me from my stepfather and my mother. The and It's a women's uprising, wampum, and we are excuse me. It has the 5 nations, and I believe these are the clan mothers. Um, there's still more work that needs to be done to understand this wampum, and we need, with the government, these people understand that people are understanding who I am, and the world is watching. Um, so whether they want to recognize work with me or not, um, it's up to you. Your ignorance will prove who you are. Um, I'm not a bad lady, but I'm fed up, and yes, my voice is a little demeanor because I keep asking nicely. I have a list of demands, and I've been asking nicely for for some justice around here, and I haven't been able to get it. So, for that being said, I got to be out here and be a little bit more cross and wickeder, and if that's how I got to be, and I'm not going to show no mercy with any government official that comes in my way. Um, yeah, so I'm just out here keeping up the good fight for the people and for myself. I get some justice around here. We can all start getting some justice. So we need to work together. We want to just show them. We're not. I'm not. Let them. They say let them do what they're doing. Let them do what they do, and let's show them better. Let's show them how we can do it better. Show them a better way, and it's up to them if they follow. Um, there's three types of people. I always say to people who about the conscience mind. There's three types of people out here. There's one without a soul. There's one with a soul. There's one with a dark soul. Um, you figure out what kind of people you want to be around. Um, Start look within yourself and find yourself and find your own flaws and your own awareness and work on that. And I thank you so much, Nate, for having me and letting me speak and share these truths out there. I'm just trying to think. I don't want to miss anything, anything that people need to know about the inmates here. Uh, these,
What prison was this? Is this by Marcy?
yes, this is next door to Marcy. This is Mid-State Prison.
Uh huh.
Uh, yeah, Marcy, New York. This is the this is the paperwork for the inmates. There is 28. I would just read 28 names. We have oh gosh, there's a lot
What
of
year
names.
is this? Is this?
This is 2016 when
Mm-hmm.
this happened. It was an ongoing incident. It wasn't just one beating, one incident with these inmates. This is these are ongoing incidents of assaults. I mean, not only are they physically abusing the inmates, torturing them. They even took them in the van when transporting from the van, from one van to the next, into their transportation van. I was a passenger when an officer recklessly reversed the vehicle into the wall. Injuries to the neck, back, leg. I mean, they did some really rotten things. These officers, these COs really did. Uh, it's an ongoing thing. They have a regime of white supremacist police that are. It's their tactics. How they're trying to break these inmates,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, we got William Fitzpatrick, Letitia James, the Attorney General, from Hochul, the governor, to the Attorney General, to Fitzpatrick. These are some really dirty, corrupt. You would think these women wouldn't be. They're not women. That's not how we think. We don't think like that. These people are just like government robots, and they don't find no solution to the problems. They just they just try to they just cover it up. Give a couple people a couple $1,000, whatever, $1 million or whatever, and hush them up for their beatings, for for what has happened to them. This is very serious. What's going on out here? It's like a norm out here. All this corruption. What's there a law to go by? I mean, they don't go by their own laws. They don't even obey by their own laws. So how do they expect the American people, whoever, to obey by their own laws? They can't even obey by their laws. Your president, he had an attitude, so he sent his goons, his white supremacists, to attack your own capital. Um, that's treason right there. We got treason going on a reservation, and it's like a norm. And everybody just greets the mans and just knowing what he did, knowing what these people did. You killed our people, and you have our hostage, our land hostage, our funds hostage, and you're sitting there greeting them. I don't know. There's not that much oppression in the world where, I mean, this is just like, oh, oh yeah, they did what they did, but let's still honor them. You know, Like Oren Lyons, he's up there in age. When he passes away, everybody's gonna sit there and honor him. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what the hell you gonna honor him for? You know what he did. He didn't help the people, he helped himself. That's what he did. Yes, and what he did, we're going to undo. All that damage he did, we got to turn around. We got to go back and fix it. The innocent ones, the ones who've been being attacked. Yes, us. So yeah, and we don't have warriors like these, like as you see up north and this and that. We don't have warriors no more. They're all being paid to hush hush. They're on drugs and being paid hush hush. They give them weekly pay, a weekly free pay on a res to the drug addicts just to keep them subdued from
Mm-hmm.
speaking up, speaking out. Yeah, and if they tell her go attack Michelle, go attack her, they go and do it. I got it live on a book. I got it live. You know, I've got these. And when we go to submit our paperwork to the down to the Washington, to the internal affairs who are internally in our business, when they took over in 1996 with their violence, with their police presence, violence, watching the innocent ones be attacked by the fake ones just for their control. So, yeah, I really have a problem with all this corruption. I don't want to leave this earth with this for my daughter and grandkids. My daughter's already being profile attacked. You know, they work on them. My daughter, they work. I had 4 kids. I had 2 boys, so I had twin boys and 2 girls. I only have one daughter left. I shouldn't have to bury my children. You
Mm.
know, yeah. So it's not been a easy road, but you know what? It's something that unfortunately us indigenous people have to go through. Um, we have to fight for our lives. This young man was taken out to Onondaga Nation, and uh, some people did some things bad to him, and it's being covered up. The people who are running our tribal nation, this is their next generation's doings. Yes, this is their next generation. They try to make it as if this man had did some bad dealing with a weed thing. No, that's just the cover up, so they don't investigate. Like it's just another bad drug deal gone bad. No, that's not what. That's not the case here. We have a couple young. We have a handful of people who are involved. A couple people actually. Um, I'll put the names out there. Ishi Brown, Amy Johnson, um, and their families are ties to this. And these are the people who are running my tribal nation. This is their next generation. They covered it up. Even elders had told me what they saw out here from their mouth before they passed about this young man and Ishi Brown and Amy Johnson. Now, the detective John Nolan, who was on this case, he covered up. He went to the Ishi Brown went to jail sometime after this had happened. Now, Detective John Nolan had him go and write a note to the family saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, but it wasn't me. I was in jail." No, that was not true. Check. That shit's not true. So now he's up north, hiding with the Mohawks up there, trying to swindle, ripping people off up north. This Ishi Brown and Amy Johnson, she's on arrest, hiding out. She just lost both of her parents. So yeah, but we need some justice around here. So this not only we need some justice for my daughter. We need a whole lot of justice. There's too much corruption around here.
Why was he? Why was they fighting with him?
They was fighting over whatever they had. They claim it was a he owed them money. He owed them $500 or something. So that was and I guess they set him up to come out there and to fight with him, and they ended up killing him, shooting him. What I was told was he was shot in the trailer. Ishi was fighting with him, and Amy Johnson picked up the shotgun and shot him in the trailer. And when the next day, when he was seeing the elders who live out there, seeing Ishi Brown take the rolled up rug out of the trailer, his uncle, who is Ronnie the Rapist, Shenandoah, adoptee descent, He's the one, the fire chief. And the one who tried to sign me off on Adaga Nation, his fraudulent signature, trying to claim as a chief. He's the one who gave Ishi Brown the keys to the fire truck, the old fire station when it was up. The old truck, gave him the truck to hose it down in that trailer, to hose it down. And that's what he did. He took the fire truck, went to the trailer, and hosed it down to try to hide the evidence, the blood evidence. So, but FBI, the investigators, they never went out there to investigate it. Nope. John Nolan, the detective, Onondaga County, Fitzpatrick's right hand man, had it covered up. That's a fact. Yep. And he's dead now too. He had a heart attack, smoking too much, sniffing too much coke. But yeah. Yep. We're gonna need some justice around here. All right, brother. Hey, uncle.
Years of sacrifices. We're living in a world of compromises. Yeah, yeah. Burdens you carry. Stand up firm and tell your story. Hey, right. Burdens you carry. See, rise and take the story.